This video is scripted, edited and written by Nihar Dash. This video is scripted, edited and written by Nihar Dash. List of 10 major ports in India, which is written by Nihar Dash for public domain purpose only. Covering a majority of the Indian subcontinent, India is an Asian country with many major and intermediate ports. The central government handles the former, while the latter comes under the state government's jurisdiction. It is surrounded by water on 3 sides and is flanked by the Bay of Bengal on its east coast, the Arabian Sea to the west, and the Indian Ocean to the south. It has a coastline of over 7,000 kilometers and is one of the world's largest exclusive economic zones, EEZ. The primary ports in India are 13 major harbors that are well connected and have state-of-the-art facilities. Most ports in India are wholly government-owned, under the Ministry of Ports, Shipping, and Waterways. Private organizations may operate individual terminals and facilities in coastal states. A large portion of the terminals in India is operated by companies such as DP World, including the former Pondo, AP Mahler Terminals, and PSA International. Reliance Industries and the Adani Group own a few private ports. As it lies on the Indian Ocean, these ports service vessels inbound from the Middle East, Europe, and Africa to the west. The main ships from the east sail from Southeast Asia, Japan, South Korea, and Australia. A large portion of incoming trade from the east is oil, inbound from Iran and the Middle East. Agricultural produce, fertilizers, natural ores and minerals, automobiles, textiles, and foodstuff are the primary goods that pass through Indian ports. There are also several naval bases operated under the individual Indian naval commands. Given its vast maritime importance, Indian ports have played a major role in the growth and development of the nation. In this article, we look at the 10 major ports of India, the ports UN, LOCODE, region and state, gross cargo tonnage, and gross TEU traffic are also mentioned. The locode begins with the prefix in, for India, indicating a port located within the territorial waters of India. So here is our list, which is written by Nihar Dash for public domain purpose only. 1. Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, Nava 1 Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, Nava 1 Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, Nava Shiva, JNPT, Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra UN, LOCODE, in NSA gross cargo tonnage. 2019-20, 68.5 million metric tons TEU traffic, 2018-19, 5.15 million units. Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust representation image known as Nava Shiva, JNPT is the largest container port in India and one of the most essential subcontinent's harbors on the western coast. The name comes from the 2 erstwhile villages that thrived on the shores of Thane Creek, where JNPT now stands. Opened in 1989, it processes nearly 55% of container cargo passing through India. It has consistently crossed 4 million TEUs annually and aims to reach the 10 million mark by 2021. The major exports through JNPT include textiles, machinery, meat, chemicals, and pharma products. Plastics, machinery, vegetable oils, aluminium, and non-ferrous metals are the imports here. JNPT is ranked 28th amongst the world's top container ports. The facilities include a customs house, connection to over 50 inland container depots, ICDs, and 30 container freight stations, CFS. There is also an ongoing project of adding JNPT to the Western Dedicated Freight Corridor, WDFC, to increase road and rail connectivity. Construction of a multimodal logistics park, MMLP, is also underway. JNPT operates a satellite port at Vadvan Point to ease traffic from the main harbor. At present, the port operates several container terminals. The JNPT container terminal is owned by JNPT and has 680 meters of quay spread across 3 berths. Nava Shiva International Container Terminal, NSICT, is run by DP World and was the first privately managed terminal in India. It has 600 meters of quay, over 2 berths and a capacity of 62 million tons of cargo. The Gateway Terminals India, GTI, run by AP Mahler Terminals, can handle 1.3 million TEU and was opened in 2006. Lastly, the NSIGT terminal operated by PSA Singapore is currently under construction and will have 2 kilometers of the quay, a capacity of 12.5 million tons of cargo, and 4.8 million TEUs. 2 Port of Mundra 2 Port of Mundra 2 Port of Mundra Kutch, Gujarat UN, LOCODE, in Moon gross cargo. Tonnage, 2019-20, 139 million metric tons TEU traffic, 2016-17, 3.48 million units Port of Mundra 123 Representation Image is the largest private port in India. Mundra is a major hub for containers and bulk cargo. It is run by Adani Ports and SEZ Limited, APSEZ, and began operations in 2001. It is well connected to the major hubs in India. The Mundra-Adipur railway line and the 8A EXTN National Highway provide road and rail connectivity. Mundra Airport is undergoing major developments to convert it into an international airport for air cargo. Currently, the port can handle 5 million TEUs and 338 million metric tons of cargo. The port operates 10 berths for dry bulk, 3 for liquid bulk, 6 container berths, 3 mechanized import berths, and 2 for SPM crude oil imports. The Mundra Port Coal Terminal, MPCT, is the largest coal import terminal in the world and can process over 40 million tons of coal annually. The port also handles 3 major pipelines: IOCL, Panipat, the Bathinda Refinery Line, and the National Capital Region, NCR, line. There is on-site storage for agricultural goods, machinery, coal, and other industrial goods. There are dedicated facilities for handling products, such as wheat bagging units, coal processing stations, 97 holding tanks for liquid cargo, and a steel handling yard. The major shipments passing through here include fertilizers, agricultural produce, liquid bulk, crude oil, chemicals, edible oil, coal, automobiles, project cargo and minerals. There are dedicated facilities for general cargo, such as 16 mobile harbor cranes, 7 grab ship unloaders, payloaders, excavators, conveyor belt systems, etc. The container terminals have 9 dock lines, over 2 kilometers of the quay, 18 rail-mounted cranes, and 48 gantry cranes. 3 Port of Chennai 3 Port of Chennai 3 Port of Chennai Chennai, Tamil Nadu UN, LOCODE, in Ma gross cargo tonnage, 2019-20, 51.8 million metric tons TEU traffic, 2018-19, 1.62 million units Port of Chennai. The erstwhile Madras port is the largest port on the Bay of Bengal coastline. Chennai Port is the 3rd oldest port in India. Operational since 1881, the port has been a driving force behind trade and commerce in the region and is known as the Gateway of South India. It is directly linked to over 50 ports, has ISPS and ISO 14001-2004 certifications, and is ranked 86th worldwide in TEU handling. The Chennai Port Trust manages it. As an artificial seaport on a coastal breakwater, the harbor covers nearly 4 square kilometers. The main shipments are automobiles, motorcycles, general industrial cargo, iron ore, granite, coal, fertilizers, petroleum products, and agricultural produce. Iron, leather, cotton, textiles, and automobiles are significant exports. The major imports are wheat, raw cotton, machinery, iron, and steel. This port handles over 50 million tons of cargo, and expansion is underway to increase the capacity to 140 million tons. The existing container handling capacity is 2 million TEUs. Automobiles are a major shipment here, and the port saw an exponential increase to over 0.3 million units in 2018-19. The port is classified into the North, Central, and South zones that have 26 berths. The dock is divided into the Ambedkar dock with 12 berths, the Sadip Jawahar dock with 6 berths, the Bharati dock with 3 oil and iron berths, and the container terminal with 3 berths, and the single mooring berth. The Jawahar berths also have attached sheds for transit, while the CT1 and CT-22 container berths have container freight stations, CFS. The Bharati dock can process Suezmax in post-Panamax vessels. The container terminals are run by DP World and PSA International and services shipping lines including APL, Maersk, and NYK. There is also a cruise terminal within the port, the first in India, and it is currently under expansion work. 4 Port of Kolkata, Syama Prasad Mukherjee Port Trust, Co-Pt. 4 Port of Kolkata, Syama Prasad Mukherjee Port Trust, Co-Pt. 4 Port of Kolkata, Syama Prasad Mukherjee Port Trust, Co-Pt. Kolkata. West Bengal UN, LOCODE, in CCU gross cargo tonnage, 2018-19, 63.71 million metric tons TEU traffic. 2018-19, 0.83 million units. Port of Kolkata representation. Image 1 of the largest riverine ports in India. Kolkata Port is located 200 kilometers inland and is the oldest port in operation. It is a homogeneous freshwater port that is located on the river Hooghly. The port services most of northern and eastern India and even neighboring countries such as Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and the autonomous region of Tibet. It has been used since the early 16th century and receives a sizable portion of shipments to the northeastern states. Jute is an important export commodity of this port, along with copper, textiles, iron ores, and liquid chemicals. The port is divided into the Kolkata Dock System, KDS, and the Haldia Dock Complex, HDC. The KDS lies on the left bank and is manned by the Gaspur and Sagar pilotage stations. The Kidderpur docks run 18 berths and 3 dry docks. The Netaji Subhas docks run 10 berths and 2 dry docks, and the Budge dock has 6 wharves for petroleum, and the main anchorages are at Diamond Harbour, Sagar Road, and the Sandheads. In addition, there are over 80 jetties and docks for ship breaking. The HDC is 60 kilometers from the pilotage stations and consists of an impounded dock system with 12 berths, 3 riverine jetties for oil, 3 for barges, jetties for oil handling barges, and the Haldia anchorage for lighter aboard ship, lash, vessels. The dry docks at Ko-Pt are the largest in India and can handle smaller ship construction and repairs for most vessels. Due to the location, pilotage is required for ships over 200 GT. There are also lighthouses, light vessels, semaphores, for tide leveling, and other mechanisms to guide incoming vessels. 5VO Chidambaranur Port, VOCP, 5VO Chidambaranur Port, VOCP, 5VO Chidambaranur Port, VOCP, Tuticorin, Thoothukudi, Tamil Nadu UN, LOCODE, in TUT gross cargo tonnage, 2019-20, 36 million metric tons TEU traffic, 2019-20, 0.8 million units VO Chidambaram port known as the Tuticorin port, VOCP is a major seaport in India, located to the south of the mainland. It is classified as a medium artificial harbour spanning nearly 8 square kilometres. Operated by the VOCP Trust, it is the fourth largest container terminal in India and the second in the state. This port services vessels from China, Europe, Sri Lanka, the Mediterranean, and the USA. It is certified ISO 9001-2008 and ISO 14001-2004 and is ISPS compliant. The main shipments include industrial raw materials and agricultural produce. The primary imports are coal, cement, fertilizers, phosphate, petroleum and derivatives, coke, and edible oils. The main exports are general cargo, raw ore and minerals, building materials, sugar, liquid cargo, granite, and limonite. Due to its location near the Coromandel coast in the Gulf of Mannar, it is naturally sheltered. The two breakwaters span over 7 kilometers and are spaced 1.3 kilometers apart. There are 14 berths, of which PSA International manages the container berth. There are extensive storage spaces within the port and a cruise terminal nearby for passengers. This port handles over 7% of gross container traffic to India and is currently under a $1 billion expansion project. The existing inner harbor will also be expanded to form an outer harbor. There is also a proposal to set up a naval base under the Eastern Naval Command. 6 Port of Kandla, Deendale Port Trust, 6 Port of Kandla, Deendale Port Trust, 6 Port of Kandla, Deendale Port Trust, Kandla, Gujarat UN, LOCODE, in KDL gross cargo tonnage, 2019-20, 122.5 million metric tons TEU traffic, 2017-18, 0.17 million units Port of Kandla 123 representation. Image It was established in the 1950s and is managed by Deendale Port Trust. Kandla is located near Gandhidham, near Kandla Creek, on the Gulf of Kutch and protected by a natural harbour. It is a major seaport in India and lies close to Karachi Port in Pakistan. It is currently expanding to improve the existing facilities. One of the largest imports in the region is petroleum and refined products. The primary source to Kandla is SR Oil, which supplies the Vadanar refinery. This accounts for over 50% of the traffic through Kandla. An additional 4 berths are being built to accommodate ships of larger drafts and tonnage. There is a dedicated container terminal that handles lesser traffic compared to other Indian ports. An adjacent Kandla Special Economic Zone, KASEZ, was the first SEZ built in Asia. It was the first export processing zone and is situated 9 kilometers from the port. It spans over 1.2 square kilometers and is a global and Indian companies hub. The major exports from this port are salt, textiles, grain, and oil. The major imports are petroleum, chemicals, iron, steel, and machinery. Efforts are underway to improve the surrounding area, despite the isolation of Kandla. 7 Port of Mumbai 7 Port of Mumbai 7 Port of Mumbai Mumbai, Maharashtra UN, LOCODE, in bomb gross cargo tonnage, 2017-18, 62.9 million metric tons TEU traffic, 2017-18, 0.04 million units Port of Mumbai known as the erstwhile Bombay Port Trust, BPT, Mumbai Harbour is a major port in India. It is a natural deep-water seaport operated by the MBPT and spans 400 square kilometers. It is situated on the Arabian Sea and was opened by the British in the late 17th century. Its hinterland includes central, southern, and West India. MBPT primarily handles bulk and general cargo, while the neighboring Nhava Sheva port deals in container traffic. Nhava Sheva was initially opened to ease the traffic from Mumbai port but has gradually overtaken it. This port maintains several docks, with numerous berths and wharves. The Victoria and Prince docks operate 20 berths and are semi-tidal. The Indira dock has 21 berths and uses a lock to allow vessels to dock at all times. There are also jetties on Jawahar Dweep to service crude and petroleum vessels inbound from the Middle East, Iran, and other nations. Liquid cargo such as chemicals is processed from the Perpau jetty. There is also a passenger terminal at Ballard Pier Extn. A pilot is required for any vessel over 100 tons gross deadweight. 8 Port of Vishakhapatnam 8 Port of Vishakhapatnam 8 Port of Vishakhapatnam Vishakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh UN, LOCODE, in Viz gross cargo tonnage, 2019-20, 72.72 million metric tons TEU traffic. 2019-20, 0.43 million units Port of Vishakhapatnam representation image Visakhapatnam Port is the largest harbour in Andhra Pradesh. It is ranked third in cargo volume and is close to the ports of Chennai and Kolkata. Under the Vishakhapatnam Port Trust, VPT, the port currently operates 24 berths. It primarily services the hinterlands of Central and South India. The main goods include iron ore, manganese nodules, steel products, general cargo, coal, crude oil, and other petroleum derivatives. The external dock has 6 berths and is the largest dock. The smaller internal dock has 18 berths capable of handling Panamax ships. The maximum anchorage draft is 17 meters across the harbors. Despite being prone to seasonal cyclones, the port is naturally protected by surrounding low-lying hills. A nearby harbor, the Gangavaram port, shares cargo traffic with Visaj Port. The Indian Steel Federation, known as the RINL, has begun operations out of Visaj. The port is expanding to include coal and steel handling equipment. There are dredging operations currently underway to handle larger tonnage ships. There is also a proposal to operate a satellite port at Bhimili. 9 Port of Cochin 9 Port of Cochin 9 Port of Cochin Kochi, Kerala UN, LOCODE, in COK gross cargo tonnage, 2018-19, 32.02 million metric tons TEU traffic, 2018-19, 0.6 million units Port of Cochin Kochi Port lies on the Arabian Sea coast and experiences traffic from vessels on the Indian Ocean route. The port itself is built over 2 neighboring islands, Willingdon and Vallarpadam. It is managed by the Cochin Port Trust, COPT, and has been operational since 1928. The port is close to other maritime facilities in Kochi, namely the Cochin Shipyards, Kochi Refineries SPM, the Kochi Marina, and the offshore crude carrier mooring facility. The International Container Transshipment Terminal, ICTT, is the largest container facility in India, and the port has an average of over 1,500 vessel visits annually. The inlet to the port is through the Cochin Gut between Vipine and Fort Kochi. The inlet depth is 16 meters post-dredging and can accommodate ICTT inbound vessels. Pilotage is also provided for incoming vessels. The port supplies regions of southern India and is well connected by rail, Indian Railways, road, national and state highways by NHAI. and air, the nearby Kochi International Airport. There is also a naval base close to the port. 10 Port of Hazira 10 Port of Hazira 10 Port of Hazira Hazira, Gujarat UN, LOCODE, in HCA gross cargo tonnage, 2019-20, 25.4 million metric tons TEU traffic, 2018-19, 0.57 million units Port of Hazira known as Surat Port. The Adani Hazira Port is a vital LNG and petroleum harbor on the western coast of India, close to the city of Surat. It is managed and operated by Adani Hazira Port Private Limited, AHPPL. It is built to handle cargo, including bulk, breakbulk, bulk liquids, chemicals, petroleum, edible oils, containers, automobiles, and crude oil. It is a highly developed port under the Adani Group that operates as a multimodal hub. It deals with vessels from Europe, Africa, America, and the Middle East. The port lies close to the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Zone and is also close to the Mumbai and Nhava Sheva ports. Two of the major goods through Hazira are coal and petroleum products. Coal is processed by an integrated conveyor system that mechanizes the coal handling process. Several industrial companies operate from Hazira, such as Essar, Shell, Lant, ONGC, NTPC, GAIL, and Reliance Industries. A new container handling terminal operated by PSA International is under construction. The existing facilities can handle 1 million TEUs, while the LNG terminals run by Total SAW and Shell Oil can process 2.5 million tons. Lant also operates a small naval shipyard out of Hazira. Apart from the ones mentioned above, there are other vital ports, such as the new Mangalore port in Karnataka, Paradip port in Odisha, Ennore port in Chennai, Panambur port in Mangalore, and Mormugao port in Goa. The network of these ports makes India a strong nation regarding maritime abilities and transportation of goods, thereby leading to more significant revenue generation and a strong economy.